What's up, everybody? It's Hank here with Break MMA. Very, very excited about my guest today. He just had a spectacular first-round knockout at UFC 230 against Ben Saunders. Lyman Cyborg Good.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Definitely, man. Yeah, a lot of people sleep on you, or a lot of people might not know about you too much. Because how many UFC fights have you had? Two, right? Just two?
This will be my third.
Yeah, oh, that was your third that just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, three. So you're relatively kind of new, but Bellator veteran. What was the other organization that you was a champion in?
CFFC, Cage Fury.
Yes, champion there, champion in Bellator. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yes, the welterweight champ.
Champion everywhere this man's been, basically. Champion everywhere he's been. UFC now, your third fight was just a couple of weeks ago, a week or two ago, against Ben Saunders. I watched it live, and stunning, shocking end. But before the fight, the commentators and people close to you talk a lot about your mental preparation. What exactly did they mean? Obviously, you know how to punch, you know how to kick, you know how to take down, but you've talked about it before that mental preparation was what you needed to get down pat. What did you do for this camp?
Mental preparation has always been important for me, going into a fight. It's as important as the physical part of it, and I feel like over time I kind of started to get away from that a little bit. So I did a lot of visualization training, visualizing the win, putting myself in pretty much in that cage. I felt like I've fought my opponent hundreds of times already in my mind before I even got there. So a lot of visualization training. Another thing I started doing, this is non-fight related, but it tied into the fight itself, was meditation. I started meditating a lot and working a lot on just, sharpening my mindset and my focus going into a fight. And honestly, the biggest thing, I think one of the most important things going to a fight is just believing in yourself, knowing that you're going to go out there and you're going to do your best, and your best is enough to overcome adversity. Your best is going to, outdo your opponent. Your best is going to help finish the fight as long as you believe in yourself and you do your best, And I think the only thing that's probably held me back in my past fights have been my mentality going to fights. Sometimes mentally I felt like I wasn't there. Even the fights where I felt like they were close and it could have gone either way, I feel like even then, I wasn't mentally there. Physically I was, but mentally, I wasn't all there. But this fight, that changed. I felt great. I went out there and I knew, not just in my body, but I knew in my heart I was going to win that fight.
And you've never looked sharper. You've never looked faster. And Ben Saunders, for people that don't know, is great in the clinch. Those knees, that's where he wants you. That's where Ben wants to work, is in that clinch. Dirty elbows, Ben Saunders' knees to the body. And it was a pretty good feel-out process. I just watched it like 10 minutes ago before our interview. And like the first minute or so, you guys were exchanging a little bit. He caught you with a good punch there in at the 60-second mark, and you just kept marching forward. But when you got him,
that punch actually woke me up. I notice it doesn't show a lot during my fight sometimes, because I'm pretty defensive at times, and I'm pretty good at not getting hit too much. But in training, I'm the type of guy, like, if I get hit, it wakes me up. When I get punched in the face, I get more aggressive. Like under duress, I become more aggressive. I don't back down. So after that straight punch he threw, and he caught me good too. It was a flush, square right in the face. I was like, oh, all right, we're in a fight now. They just woke me up, and that was good. I needed that.
Yeah, definitely. He got you in the clinch, or I think, he initiated the clinch and was hitting you with some good knees. And he even said to Joe Rogan after the fight, he's like, I thought I hurt him with the body shot, but I didn't hurt him. And you hit him with a couple of flush uppercuts that dropped him. And I can't remember a time in MMA, and I've watched it for forever, a faster hammer fists. Like, it seems like you dropped 3 hammer fists, like 1, 2, 3 in the blink of an eye, and the ref stopped it, and he was out quick.
Yeah, man. I don't know. We do a lot of bag work and a lot of bag training and stuff, and I felt like it kind of helped my speed a little bit. But I didn't even feel myself physically throwing it. I feel like it was just the excitement of seeing that the fight is it could finish right now, right here. That when I saw the opportunity, I just jumped on it and I just let my hands go. And I don't know, man. I just felt the excitement rush through my body, and it just kind of made me feel fast and powerful.
Did you win knockout of the night for that or no?
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I want which
It's all
one?
good.
Which one was
I
it?
do it.
Do you remember which one that it was on the card? Because I can't think of who else.
It could have been probably Adesanya.
Oh yeah, I forgot Israel was on that card. Yeah, it was probably Israel.
I think it was his, yeah.
I would still
His,
argue yours is better.
Jacare.
I would argue yours is better. I mean, those hammer fists were vicious.
Yeah, man. It's all
Did
good,
you get
man.
to watch the rest of the card though? Like after your fight, do you guys like when you fight at a main card or fight night? If you're like the first fight or the second, do you get to go back and watch the rest of the fights?
To be honest, sometimes I don't. I go there, do what I got to do, and then I leave. Sometimes there's a good main event, and I'll stick around for that. But there's a lot that's going on right after my fight. So when I go back, a lot of medicals, a lot of things I got to sign and stuff. So that takes up some of the time. And then I'm usually trying to link up with my family after that, to be honest. And that takes up a good amount of time as well, trying to go around and find your family and spend some time with them because I miss them. I kind of push them to the side, and you push a lot of people that you love away so that you can focus for this fight. That's the first thing I think about right after a win, is to go out there and go see my family.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of fighters can definitely relate to that, especially training camps. It's the time you spend away from them.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you like a fan? Like, do you follow, besides fighting, do you follow the sport? Do you watch every event? Like, do you watch it on FS1? Do you keep up with the rankings? Or do you just fight and don't worry about all the other bullshit?
Yeah, pretty much. I just fight. I do what I got to do. I do my job, and that's that. I'm not. Can't say I'm a casual fan, but I'll watch from time to time. I also watch just to keep an eye on the competition out there. But I'm not too big into following it, to be honest. It's a pretty good question that you asked. Because people assume that because I'm a UFC fighter, that I'm a UFC fan. I mean, I love the UFC, and I'm definitely a fan. That's part of who I am. But as far as being a heavy spectator of the sport, I can't say I am. I do what I got to do. It already takes up my life because I'm teaching MMA for a living. So that's really where all my focus is teaching martial arts. But as far as, watching it and being a fan of it, from time to time I do. But I can't say I'm a big time, fan of MMA.
I get that a lot. Like, a lot of people, like you say, they just assume because you fight, you watch it, and you watch all of it. I get a lot of fighters that I interview or that I talk to, MMA personalities, that we cover it or we do it. We fight so much that we don't have time to watch hours upon hours and upon hours of fights. Like somebody like me who interviews you guys and studies it, I go over hours, every week. It's just multiple hours of watching fights. Where you guys train and you got family, so you don't really have a lot of time to watch it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I didn't know that, to be honest. I didn't know if other fighters are the same. But aside from the time factor, I think what it is, at least for me, is it helps with balance. When you do something too much and it takes over your life, that you start to repel from it. You fight it after a while. It kind of clashes with you. But I think because it takes up so much of your time already, that you don't go to it. You don't watch it. You don't let it take over your life, just so you can create a good balance in your life.
Definitely. So you've been a new welterweight face. With that fresh knockout. Have you got anybody in mind? Have they called you or anything? I know it's been fresh off the KO of Ben, but has anybody come up in your mind? Have they offered anybody? Have you heard from them yet?
There's nobody that stands out, to be honest. I don't see names. I just see bodies and I see numbers and rankings. I just got to fight my way up, one fight at a time. My style isn't trash talking style. I'm not going to call anybody out. But all I'm looking for is just the next step up when it comes to whoever I fight next. Because I slowly want to work my way up the food chain to get to the top 10 and then show everybody that I'm capable of doing this and what I'm all about.
Definitely. I firmly believe that they could give you, I don't have the rankings with me right now, but let's say they give you a number 15 or a number, I don't know if they go all the way up to 20 like they used to, but we'll say 15. Number 15, that's a good possible start out place because you see how quickly people climb in the rankings nowadays.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with your performance. And I would hope that after that last performance, it kind of shoots me up a little bit. But, I know I've been out for a while too, and that probably has a little something to do with why I'm not up there yet because of my inactivity. But as long as I keep putting out performances like I did in my last fight and keep making statements in every fight, I think I'll be able to get up there pretty fast.
The Cyborg nickname. Do you get asked questions about that being the male cyborg?
Yeah, it was. That nickname wasn't self-proclaimed, by the way. That was somebody else gave that to me when I started training. I wasn't even fighting then, but it was just my demeanor when I was training. Because I used to get, when I was sick, I would train. When I was hurt one time, I would still train. I had a broken bone one time, and I was still training, but I did it very emotionless. So I think somebody just threw that name out there just joking around, but it stuck, apparently, and they've been calling me that ever since.
I'll quote John Anik as he was calling your fight. This guy is jacked beyond belief.
Yeah, man, it's all in training, brother. As long as you put in the work, the results show itself, man. I put in a lot of time in the gym. This is what I do for a living. This isn't a hobby for me. This is something I do 24/7. I love what I do for a living. And, my health is important to me. So that's why I'm always in training and always staying in shape as much as I can.
So you've been a Bellator vet, like we said, UFC now, that other organization. What's the main difference, like, between the UFC and Bellator, for instance? Like, a lot of people compare UFC, Bellator, Dana with Scott Coker. Was Scott Coker there when you were there, or has he always been there?
No, he wasn't there. He came in after I had left already. It was Bjorn Rebney.
So you wasn't even on Spike TV yet? It wasn't on Spike TV while you were there?
It was. It was at the time. I think that was it. When I left, it just is around the time they probably had just started doing a transition. But when I was there, Bjorn Rebney was the president.
So what ended up happening with them? Did UFC, did your contract just finally end? Did you leave on good terms with Bellator? Like, do you still keep in contact with some of them?
We left on good terms. Bellator treated me great. I had zero complaints about them. All it was just a matter of challenging myself, stepping outside of my comfort zone and doing something different. People see the UFC as a higher echelon of MMA, and where there's challenges, there's growth, and I wanted to grow. I wanted to show the world what I'm capable of and who I am, and I felt that the UFC was going to give me that opportunity to do just that.
Yeah, a lot of people do sleep on Bellator too for some reason, which is crazy. UFC is like, when you think MMA, you do think UFC, but if you think Bellator, they've got Michael Venom Page, Rory McDonald, Gegard Mousasi. Like, they have a lot of talent. You could argue that a couple of welterweights in the Bellator might be better than the UFC, and you could take a couple of guys out of each weight class and debate them with UFC talent right now.
Yeah, I mean, they go hand in hand, as far as the talent. The caliber of the fighter, to be honest, is very similar, and they're all great. Doesn't matter Bellator or UFC, they're all great fighters. I think the stage where they're shining in is different. That's all it is. It's just the stage, the cage, the name of the promotion. But at the end of the day, we're all fighters, and we're all pretty much, neck and neck with the caliber of, our weight classes and our opponents. They're all great fighters over at Bellator, so tons of respect to them.
Yeah, that's why they have matchmakers. They can't. I was looking up a couple of regional MMA promotions, and you see crazy fights, like a guy who's 20-0 against a 1-1 fighter or something. But Bellator's good, just like the UFC is good at putting the right fighters against the right fighters. Yeah,
for sure. They're good at matchmaking. They know how to, matchmakers, people don't realize, like, they have a really good job. Their job is very important and it's very vital to the spectatorship of the sport, because if they're not matchmaking people correctly, then you're going to have either boring fights or fights where people are getting killed and slaughtered, because of the mismatch. But these matchmakers, man, the matchmakers of UFC, matchmakers of Bellator, they're doing a great job of putting together two very close, ranked fighters and putting out good shows.
Yeah, man, I appreciate your time so much, and I'm gonna do one more quick topic before we get off here. I seen where you have a whole bunch of tattoos on your side and your back. I have, both my arms are sleeved. And
Yeah, all right.
my chest and my stomach is all. I have pretty much a full black and gray bodysuit. What is your most painful tattoo, and what tattoo means the most to you?
They're all meaningful to me, man. Everything in my body has a significance to it. But I think on the pain rating, I gotta say, so far it's been the ribs. I just got my back done this Sunday. With every fight, after every fight, I've been putting some ink on my body, because I feel like I go through a transformation with every fight. So I wanna immortalize the moment and the wins and the highs and the lows. But as far as pain, it's got to be the ribs so far, man.
Oh, definitely. I've got fingers and my hand and my neck and everywhere, and those ribs hurt so damn bad.
Yeah, I can take pain. I have a pretty high tolerance for pain, but man, when he was touching my ribs, a couple of hours in, I was just ready to tap, man. It was fire. It was just fire on the side of my body.
Yeah,
but it's all worth it, man. You know how it is. You earn your ink.
Oh, definitely. Every hour you sit is an hour that you'll remember for sure. When did you start collecting, and how are you gonna be like a full body suit? Is that what you're aiming for, or no? You're not gonna cover like your entire body?
I don't know. I think we're getting there. So far, I'm doing. I'm on the left side of my body. Everything on the left side of my body is getting tatted up. I just started working on my back. I'm doing a full back piece. That's gonna take up some time. I got a fresh right side of my body, so who knows,
Are you a color fan? Or just
there's an addiction to it, too, it seems like. I'm addicted to the pain of it already. It's crazy. You know how it is, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I first started with my arms, and then when you finish with your arms, you'll go to your back or your stomach, and then you go to your legs, and then you keep going. But what was... Or you said your back, or your ribs was the most painful. I definitely agree with the ribs being the most painful. Are you a black and gray fan? I seen your one side is just black and gray. Is it all just black and gray? You got color too?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that theme, black and gray. I love colors. I love traditional, but me personally, for my body, it's all black and gray, bro. Same as you. You say you're all black and gray.
Yes, sir.
Right, you got a suit.
It's probably like what you started with too. I've always said, because people see my bodysuit and they ask me, why is it all just black and gray? It's just what I started with. Like if you had maybe started with some color, you might have had, you know what I mean? It's kind of just what you started with.
Yeah. You don't want to break the monotony now. You already started. There's a uniformity with black and gray as well that I love. I love how everything's so uniform and it's just nice and it meshes with your skin. There's something very beautiful about the black and gray, how it goes on the skin, and there's a little, I don't know, it's like mysterious too. People look at it and it makes people wonder what it is. They want to look at it and ask you questions and stuff. It's a very beautiful form of art, on the body, the black and gray. So
yeah, it's when you think tattooing, you think black and gray, like you think that old prison style tattoo, black and gray.
Yes, sir. That's it right there.
I thank you so much, man, for your time, and this was a good interview.
My pleasure, man. Pleasure was all mine. I appreciate your interest and for having me, man. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. I'm a huge fan. I was a fan before the knockout. I'm sure you've had so much media probably after that and had so much people reaching out to you after that knockout, I'm sure.
Yeah. You know what? I have, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't tell a lot of people this. I'm not big on interviews because I'm a very personal kind of guy. I'm mostly kind of very low key, a little quiet. So I think because of that, I don't do interviews as much as I should. I know I should, so I can get the word out more. And it only hinders me not putting my word out and doing all these media obligations. But I don't know, man. Like, I do it from time to time. I try to feel it out. I gotta like the person I'm doing an interview with, you know. And I don't do that many interviews. You know, it's just something I think I need to work on. I gotta get out more, but that's why I appreciate your time and I appreciate you, you know, reaching out to me as well.
Definitely. And now that I know that you don't do interviews, that makes this even more special.
Brother, thank you again, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And as soon as it's uploaded, I will tag you in it on Twitter. That way you can share it or post it and all that stuff. And I'll talk to you soon, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate the love and support again, man. It means a lot to me.
Always. And I cannot wait till your next fight.
Yes, sir. Very soon. I'll put out the news. I'll let you all know very soon, man. I'll be out there. I want to stay busy.
Yes. Thank you very much, man. You have fun with your training.
Thank you, brother. Take care, all right? Take care of yourself.
That was a pretty good one. Pretty good interview. You know I always got to shout out Powerade. Fuck Gatorade. And I want to do one more quick shout out. My wife today, my birthday is December 1st, you know, and my birthday is coming up, but she already ordered me my birthday present. It come in the mail today a little bit early, but it was all right. I'm a huge shoe collector, so I was expecting like a pair of shoes, or I'm a big knife collector, Case XX. I was expecting maybe a Case XX knife, something like that. She surprised me with a fucking bomb ass gift. Black Ops 4. That is badass. I have not played it yet. It's updating on my PS4 right now. But reviews, guys, tell me how it is. I'm probably not going to be able to play it for like a day or so, but I want some reviews. I want feedback. Black Ops 4, is it trash? Is it great? Is it amazing? It says on the back it's pretty good. It's got crazy graphics on the thing. I think it should be pretty good. But anyway, Smoke Break MMA. This is Hank. I hope you guys enjoyed my interview with Lyman Cyborg Good. He doesn't do many interviews. Like he said, he doesn't do media much. So this was a privilege to do it with him. I'm a fan. Wow, what a knockout over Ben Saunders. You want to talk about powerful. And I'm a huge Ben Saunders fan. I've tried to get Ben on the podcast a lot, and he says he might. But we'll get him on here. This is Hank with Smoke Break MMA. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to do a tattoo video soon. I promise you guys. I'll do a tattoo video soon. See you guys.